Greetings and welcome to Chant Day. How is everybody today? We're gonna get started. And we got my hot tea first. I gotta get my hot tea. So enjoy these paintings. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chant Day. We are here today on the Blessed Sunday rise, and today's psalm is very, very, oh my goodness, I don't know how to say it. It is expressing what people need to know about. My stone fell yesterday. So what is it that we need to do that we're not doing is the question that's being asked in the psalm today. So let's jump into it, shall we? feeling the fan at all. I'm not feeling any fan. Hey, blessed rise.
Wow.
Whew. Okay, here we go, y'all. We're going to get this psalm going today. So, here we go. Psalm 81. Psalm 81 today, everybody. Psalm 81 today. Whew. Open this. Okay, let's get ready to translate. So I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is right. Not in the sight of anything else, but in the sight of what is right. What is good, what is kind, what is merciful, what is forgiving. So the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart, I'm asking that it's acceptable in the sight of that. So when we look at this psalm today, Psalm 81, it's titled, "Oh, that my people would listen to me." Now, what does that mean? Oh, that my people would listen to me. Meaning that who is my people and who is me? Okay, that's what we have to find out here as we translate. And when we're talking about my people, we're talking about me, we're talking about righteousness, goodness, mercy, love, and kindness. So the people of that, the people of righteousness, mercy, love, kindness, compassion, if you are about that, then this is for you, okay? If you are about kindness, if you're about showing mercy, if you're about showing love and compassion, and just all around being kind to people who may not be kind to you, when you show kindness, this psalm is for you because it's about righteousness. Righteous people would listen. Okay, so this is for those people. So it starts off with chanting. Chant a song. And it's not just about chanting a song, it's about chanting a song out loud. Loud. Chanting a song out loud. Chanting a song out loud. So when we chant a psalm, we chant a song, we're chanting aloud, okay? We have a voice and we're going to make our voice heard with the song of chanting because, and who? To who? We're chanting to righteousness, to goodness, to mercy, to love, to kindness. That's who we're chanting to because that is where our strength is, okay? Sometimes people, want to know who is God, what is God. That is what God is. Compassion, love, kindness, mercy, long-suffering, forgiveness. That is what it is. So when you talk about, God, Lord, Jesus, Jehovah, whoever you're calling on, it's ultimately about love. is ultimately about kindness. It's ultimately about forgiveness. It's ultimately about compassion. It's ultimately about righteousness. It's ultimately about love, respect, grace, right? All of these attributes are representative of that you're calling on. So when you're calling on that and you're doing the opposite, you're not having mercy on people, but then you call God and want mercy. It don't balance out. So be about what you are following about. If you're calling on God, you're calling on Lord, you're calling on Jesus, you have to be compassionate. You have to be long-suffering. You have to be humble. You have to be respectful. You have to be grace. You have to show grace and kindness, even to those that may not like you, because it's written that in Psalm 23, right? A table is going to be prepared for you in front of your enemies. So you're not going to fight. You're not going to squabble. You're not going to quarrel. You're going to be humble, even in the face of danger or in the face of enemies. So we are going to chant aloud to righteousness. That's our strength, I strength. We're shouting for joy to righteousness, the righteousness of Jacob, right? We're going to raise a song. We're going to sound the tambourine. We're going to sound the drum beat. We're going to play on the instrument. We're going to chant melodies. We're going to chant music to the Most High. We're going to be giving adulation of justice. This is what we chant. So we're going to raise a song, sound the instrument, the sweet instrument with the harp, blow the trumpet at the new moon, at the full moon on our feast day, okay? For a commandment for I has been written. A rule of I has been written. And that rule is made a decree in Joseph. When Joseph went over the land of Egypt. Remember Joseph was captured by his siblings. They were jealous of Joseph and put him in a hole and sold him off because they were jealous of him. And what ended up happening? Joseph became the one they needed in the end. So when you're disrespectful to people, that same person, you're going to need them before they need you. So that's what Joseph's story tells us. You don't be jealous and mean to folks. You be kind to folks. You give folks your kindness, not your hatred and your discrimination and your homophobia. You give people love and kindness. Bottom line. So there was a language that was not known. And verse 6, this is a quote, verse 6, the Most High relieved I's shoulder of the burden, okay? The financial burden. People sucking you financially and not pouring into you at all. That's been released. I've been relieved. I asked for release for people who are in bondage by demonic forces, that they are released today in the name of what is righteousness and goodness and mercy and love, that they are relieved of their shoulder, of their burden, the burden on their shoulder, and that they're freed, their hands are freed from the basket. So verse 7, in distress I called to righteousness, and righteousness delivered I. Right? Delivered I. I answered. Righteousness answered I in the secret place of thunder. Okay? And righteousness tested I at the waters of Meribah. Selah. Okay? You're being tested. Those of you who are seeking for righteousness and goodness, you're going to be tested. You're going to be You're going to be fought down. I'm telling you, you better get ready for the battle. When you change your life to do good, all alone to do good, you're going to be attacked. People going to come attack you because you're trying to do righteousness. You're trying to do kindness and love. And only the meek will inherit the earth. Okay? That's what's going to happen. The meek will inherit the earth. And those who are blessed will be living blessed in abundance with no bills, no worries, nothing. So get with the program. Get on the Zion righteous train. Get on the train, because let me tell you something. How the world is going now, people are serving other gods. They're serving themselves. They're serving their jobs. They're serving their money, their wealth. They're serving things that are material, that cannot save you from anything. So we have to be careful what we're serving. So when we look at verse 8, listen. It's talking about listen. Listen, O righteous people, while I admonish righteous people. Okay? I tested righteous people at the waters of Meribah. So we need to listen, because when you would but listen to righteousness, right? Verse 9, there shall be no strange God among you. You shall not bow down to a foreign white supremacy, colonial, capitalistic society. You should not bow down to that, right? That's a strange foreign God. Verse 10, righteousness is your Lord and your God. That is what you serve. You serve goodness every single day. That's what you go run after. Oh, how can I do good? What can I do? Can I do this? Can I lift this up? Can I help you with that? What are you doing to serve goodness and righteousness? Are you helping a widow? Are you helping an elderly? Are you helping children? What are you doing? So you got to ask yourself that. What are you doing to serve righteousness? Is it just going to work every day? What is it that you're serving? You're going to work every day serving the money that you make to give back to the same oppressor? What's going on? It's just a cycle of going around and around. So in verse 10, it talks about righteousness is your Savior. That is who you serve. That's your God, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt. It was righteousness that brought you up out of slavery, right? Righteousness and goodness and mercy and compassion brought you out of the shackles of mental and physical slavery. Open wide your mouth and righteousness will fill it, right? Only righteous people did not listen to the voice of righteousness. They didn't listen. They would not submit to righteousness. They want to go off into wrongness, right? So guess what? Righteousness gave them over to their stubborn hearts and to follow their own teaching. You want to follow your own stubbornness? Then go ahead, right? Verse 13. Oh, that I people, righteous people, would listen. That I would walk in righteous ways. Walk in a righteous way. That's why when my children go out, I always speak, walk good. Walk good. Because you want to walk in righteousness. You want to walk good. Because why? Why? Because the enemies are going to be subdued. Righteousness would soon subdue the enemies and turn I hand against I foes. So that's our weapon. Righteousness is I weapon of mass destruction. That's a t-shirt. Righteousness is my weapon of mass destruction. I'm going to destroy wrongness with righteousness. And I don't have to lift a hand to do it, to hurt anybody. Okay? Verse 15. The ones who hate righteousness is going to cringe toward righteousness. And the ones who hate righteousness, their fate is going to last forever. It's not going to be good. There's not going to be good outcomes for those who do not love righteousness. If you are a hater and you are not a lover, you're going to reap what you sow. So verse 16, but, however, righteousness is going to feed you with the finest of the wheat, and with honey from the rock, righteousness will satisfy you. You ever heard of honey coming out of a rock? Well, that's what righteousness is going to do. Selah and Selah again. There ends the psalm for today. Let's go to the word of the day. Prosperity. 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 I live an abundant life. I receive prosperity. It often has been said, you can't take it with you. While it is true that money and material possessions must be left behind when I transition from this life, these things are not the source of my prosperity. My true wealth rests in I awareness, I ability to give and receive love, to share what I have and receive from others with equal joy, to stand in righteousness and use the creative power of thought, and to know I self and all people as living expressions of the divine. So when you meet someone, they're the living expression of the divine until they show you otherwise, right? You're going to ask that these people are being, that you can discern these folks. That the Most High righteousness will show you who people are right from the jump. So I live aware and abundantly, making wise use of the earth's resources and drawing upon the limitless storehouse of divine ideas. Through the power of righteousness within because that is where it is. Righteousness is inside of you, and it is omnipresent around you. Okay? It is for all time to come. Righteousness is all limitless. And through the power of righteousness within I enrich I life physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially in a righteousness. Selah and Selah again. Thus, the word of the day, prosperity, is supported by Matthew chapter 6, verse 20. The gospel according to Matthew. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. So nobody can steal your joy, right? Nobody can steal your goodness, but they can steal your treasures. They can steal your material possessions, right? But do you trust in these material possessions? No. Look at what's going on in the creation. We have storms. We have all kinds of destruction going on in creation. People losing their houses. So what does that tell us? That tells us that these material things are temporary. They're not lasting. They're not for all time. They are temporary. So in that, we do not store these things up for ourselves. We need to remember to give through the power of righteousness within. You can enrich your life physically, intellectually, emotionally, socially, and in a righteous ways. So this ends the psalm for today, prosperity. Let's look at the verse today. The verse today is coming from, the verse today let's see. It's coming from Psalm 119, verse 14. I rejoice in following righteousness as one rejoices in great riches. So, this is so coming into full circle with the psalm today. So, as we end, the psalm today is 81, talking about righteous people listen to righteousness, okay? And it's talking about giving thanks to that and keeping the commandments of righteousness, the rules of righteousness, because that is what is going to ultimately save you. And having strange relationships with money and using that as your God is not going to give you a positive outcome in your life. Focusing on your goodness and your mercy and your compassion is going to give you all of the blessed. It's also going to subdue your enemies, and it's going to turn your hand against your enemies. So you're not going to be harmed, okay? You're going to receive abundance. You ever heard of honey from the rock is going to satisfy you? So what does that mean? That means that you're going to be given an abundance out of something that you think is not going to happen. Okay? But it is going to happen. It's going to happen so abundantly from some place that is so hard that you would never think it would be. So, the verse today, rejoicing in righteousness as people rejoice in their money. When somebody wins a lotto, oh, I win the lotto, oh, I win the lotto, they're rejoicing, right? You rejoice in righteousness as people rejoice in their riches, okay? When I receive any monetary gain, I don't rejoice in that gain. I rejoice in the source of that is righteousness, goodness, mercy, and love. That I gain this richness not by nefarious purposes, but by honesty and hard work. So when you work, you're going to receive the abundance of what is there for you and will satisfy you. So we give thanks for this psalm. We give thanks for the word today, prosperity. I live an abundant life. Even though you have $1 in your bank account, you still are rich with righteousness. That's another t-shirt. Rich with righteousness. Okay? Go ahead, make the t-shirt. Rich with righteousness. Righteousness is my weapon of mass destruction. I will use righteousness to destroy the wrongness of this world. And through righteousness, I will be compassionate, merciful, kind, long-suffering, and forgiving. I'm not going to go out there and put my hand to wrongness. I'm going to keep my righteousness standing firm in that so that I can be able to conquer what is out there that is not righteousness. Okay? So, remember, our psalm today is 81. Our word today is prosperity, supported by Matthew 6:20. And our verse today is coming from Psalm 119, verse 14. Don't rejoice in your lotto wins. Rejoice in righteousness. All right? Have a blessed day, everyone. And remember, kindness, goodness, and love is the key to prosperity. Kindness, goodness, and love. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day, everyone. blessed day, everyone. Remember, chant a psalm a day.